How's it going, guys? So last night I just saw Obsession out of the theater, and this movie is directed by Curry Barker, who does a lot of comedy skits on YouTube. He's also done some short horror films on YouTube, which I find are really great. It also stars Cooper Tomlinson, which is another guy that he does skits with. So it's really cool that these guys are making a movie together, and the fact that it was able to be put out in theaters, and I was able to go see it with my friends last night was a super fun, awesome night. And now I'm here to talk about it, because that's what I do. Starting off with stuff I liked about this movie. Now, I really like just like the basic kind of premise here. Now, you do get a lot of movies that have to deal with wishes, and the whole moral of the message is be careful what you wish for, with Monkey's Paw. Kind of like Pet Sematary has a bit of stuff like that too. There was a movie that came out called Whistle, I'm pretty sure, that had a similar premise to this. But I really like the way this movie utilizes the premise, because it has that as its kind of concept. You know, this guy, without spoilers, by the way, no spoilers in this review. This guy's in a major crush on this girl, but he's kind of a pathetic loser, and he doesn't have the courage to ask her out. And so he kind of, as a kind of a last-ditch resort, he has this wish, and he breaks it. And he says, I wish this girl loved me more than anything else in the world. And then stuff ensues. And that could lead to kind of a typical horror movie. But the way that Curry Barker directs this movie, and the way he directs his actors, and I feel like the small scaleness of this, and the fact that it's such a tight-knit cast, really allows for some deep character work. And this also allows for like what the actors will eventually do, which I'll get to. It just allows them to shine a lot more within the premise of this movie. Speaking of the direction from Curry Barker, the way that this guy lights this movie, I thought was really impressive. There is some outstanding shots. The whole cinematography, you can tell every shot is really planned out. I like the graininess he kind of gives to it. It's almost at night a lot of the time. It's really creepy. The whole movie has this eerie atmosphere, which I really enjoyed. There's some really incredible suspenseful shots in this movie. There's one shot of Nikki standing in a doorway, and the way that lighting is used to cover, kind of get in her eyes, and it almost makes her look demonic, was really impressive. And there's also just some really creepy scenes in some bedrooms and stuff like that. And I thought that was, while the performances were great, that is also in hand to Curry Barker for doing a phenomenal job directing and editing this movie. So that was really cool. But we kind of have to go into what everyone's talking about with this movie, which is Inde Navarrette's incredibly creepy, unnerving performance. Like, this girl's really pretty and really cute and insanely attractive, but yeah, the way that she's acting in this movie, she would scare any guy off, including me, which is hard. This is an Oscar-worthy performance. Is this performance going to get looked at the Oscars? Probably not. Should it be looked at? Should it be nominated at the Oscars? Yes. Is it? No. Is the Academy going to overlook this horror movie? Probably. Should it? No. But that's what they do. So I really hope that she gets some accolade for this performance, because she absolutely deserves it. The lengths that she goes to in this movie, and the fact that she can go from this subtle, super kind human at this first act of this movie before the wish is made, and then just kind of spirals out of control and elevates it more and more throughout the movie, was really incredible. And the fact that like during these sequences, she doesn't just keep it up at 11 the whole time. She can like drop it, go back up and down and down and back up. And it's just the way that she has this creepy smile about her, and she becomes this girl at the start of the movie, which is like this really cool person, really attractive. Any guy would probably go for this girl. And the way that she keeps on going just makes you constantly fear for when she's on screen. Like, the one thing I loved about this movie is there are some sections where our main character, Bear, has to like leave, or say go to work or go out and do something, and he has to leave Nikki at home or whatever for a substantial period of time, and you're just waiting for when he comes back. And what is he going to find? And what is she going to be doing there? And that, I thought, was really incredible. And also, the character work with Nikki, and also the way that this one Wish Willow works. It's really incredible the way that they do it. And you sympathize with this girl so much. You actually feel so bad for her, because she didn't ask for any of this. And it's like the way, I don't want to get into spoilers, but the way they explore how she acts compared to who she was is just really cool. And that is what I found unique about this movie. And that is what I loved, because the movie manages to have that creepiness that you expect, but it also hooks you in with this emotion that you're rooting for these characters and you want them to get out of this situation, especially with Nikki, because she's kind of the victim in all this, even though she causes a lot of the mayhem towards the back half of the movie. And I don't want to overlook Michael Johnston as our main character, because you do spend most of the movie with him. Like, he is truly our main character. He gets the most screen time. There's multiple scenes where he's on screen and Nikki's not on screen. Like, yeah, she's the standout, but he is still a very good actor, and I think he does a good job carrying this movie from start to finish. And his character, I will get into in a little bit, but as a performance, I think he does well with what he was given and for the script that he was handed and for the directions that he was probably given. Like, he does everything perfectly well. So that is all good on his part. So I think he does a truly great job as well in this movie, and I think he gives a really good performance. And I also did enjoy the other two characters in this movie, one played by Cooper Thomason and one played by an actress I'm not too sure of, but I think she also did a great job. And one thing is that I like these other characters in the movie. Like, I'm rooting for his friends and stuff like that, and there's also some really well built in humor in the movie, which I found was really cool. Some amazing humor was actually like these scenes where you're not entirely sure if you're supposed to be laughing, but you kind of are. It's kind of a bit of a cringe thing, but it's meant for that. It's meant to be there like that. And I thought that was really, really cool about the movie as well. And going back to the fact that this movie just has a lot of emotion in it. And by the end of it, again, no spoilers, but you feel like the destruction of this whole situation, and it hurts. Like, there is some moments in here that hit hard because it's well set up, it's well thought out, it's well acted. Everything in here is, you can tell there's a clear vision from Curry Barker, which I thought was so cool. So I'm really happy that he was able to come in here and make his movie, and it seems to be doing fantastic numbers wise, so that is awesome as well. Moving on into the stuff I didn't like so much about this movie, there isn't really much. I kind of alluded to one thing that I'm going to get into here, but there isn't really much. This is a pretty near perfect experience for a horror movie. So this is very small of a nitpick, and it's kind of meant to be here, but I had to go into it because it did bother me personally, and that was our main character of Bear. The guy's kind of a pathetic loser, and that's fine. He starts the movie off like that. He can't ask this girl out. It's a desperate attempt. That's not really what frustrated me about him. You know, he didn't really know what power anything would have before he got into it. But there's just some choices made later on into the movie where I'm like, bro, like, you gotta man up and do something. Like, he takes a while to go through any actual significant changes in the movie, which is really frustrating. He kind of always plays everything passively. And this is nothing against Michael Johnston as an actor. I think he does a great job. And I understand that the characterization is meant to be like that. Like, his character is literally why the events spiral out of control and why everything happens in this movie. So I get it, but it did frustrate. Like, I would sit there and I was frustrated. I understand I was supposed to be frustrated. That's why I'm not really seeing it as a huge negative. It's not like I'm like, oh, his character was bad and now that notches the movie down. No, I still am very high on this movie, except there were moments, especially during the back half, where you're supposed to be frustrated, but you're just like, oh, no, like, come on. Like, you could have solved so many of these problems if you just weren't such a loser. That's pretty much it, guys. Obsession is one of my favorite movies of the year. It's currently in my top 2. I'd have to go back and forth between this and Project Hail Mary, but this is very high and most likely will end up in one of my favorite movies of the year. This is such an inspirational story of a guy who's a YouTuber and now he's off making movies, and he's got a movie with Aaron Paul coming out. He's on doing the next Texas Chainsaw. Like, I am going to be following Curry Barker and seeing what he does because this guy is an awesome filmmaker, and it's really, really cool. As for Obsession, I'm going to give it a 95%. And on the rewatchability scale, I'm going to say it is a one-time watch. Now, for the record, rewatchability scale, that's not me saying that I didn't enjoy the movie. It usually doesn't stand on the quality of the film. It is literally, because I take into account personally of how much I like to rewatch movies because I love to put them on now and again. I don't really see myself doing that with Obsession. And that's okay, because that's not what this movie is meant to be. But I like to take that into account. Like, I'll give you an example. The Long Walk came out last year. It was my favorite movie of the year, and I give it a one-time watch for the rewatchability scale. So not super much on the quality of reflection of the movie, but that is how I feel. And that's also just helpful for what other people might ask about as well. because this movie does go into some pretty dark and twisted places. But that's overall the review for Obsession, you guys. Thank you so much. Please help me out by clicking that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. Were you looking forward to Obsession? Did you see it already? What did you think about it? Let me know, and look forward to more movie reviews coming out very soon. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Key and Boss Reviews, where I post little shorter reviews, sometimes little skits and stuff like that. I'm hoping to get way more stuff out of YouTube, so thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more very soon.